Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. Look who's drinking out of the Jimmy Dore mugs for the holiday mugs. Look at that. And then also, she's got the holiday Jimmy Dore T-shirt. Look at Steph's T-shirt. How nice it is.
Oh, this, Jimmy?
Yes. So you can get a link for all that stuff. Makes a great Christmas gift. I mean, a great holiday gift. I keep saying Christmas. Can't help it.
You should just say holiday.
I was brought up Catholic. Really Catholic. Like my parents almost molested somebody. I'm talking super Catholic. So you can get right below there. Go to our store at spreadshirt.com and they'll take care of you. Thanks for supporting the show. And we'll see you December 4th is our live show in Burbank, California. It's always a great time. Some people call it progressive church. Right, Ron? Is it somebody say that?
Yeah, a guy said that this feels like going to church.
Okay.
That was, it's like, yeah.
All right, we'll see you. That's next Monday, December 4th, 8 p.m. show in Burbank, California. There's the links for tickets right there. Now, we're going to talk about teachers. So I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago in Wisconsin, they decided to take the union away from the teachers. Because, when the economy crashes, you know whose fault it is. It's the goddamn teachers. You know how the teachers keep bankrupting us.
Barack Obama was at all the protests, though, right? Wasn't he there?
Oh, no. Barack Obama, who promised to put on a soft shoe and march on a picket line if unions needed him, wouldn't even mention that the teachers were getting their union taken away in Wisconsin. And you wonder why we got Trump? They literally shit on teachers in Wisconsin. That's who they came after, not the bankers, not the people who hooked up lead to the people in Flint and Michigan. They came in Wisconsin. They go after the goddamn teachers.
I think they figuratively shit on the teachers, Jimmy.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Figuratively. I meant figuratively. So what if they did it? So now the Center for American Progress, which is the John Podesta founded group, right? And Nara Tandon runs it now. So those are corporate Democrats. So they funded a study, and they came out with a study, and after 10, they called it, so Act 10 was the act that took away collective bargaining rights from teachers, meaning no union.
No protections. You lose your protections.
Right. And so what do you think would the effect of that would be? What do you think the effect of that would be if you make it less attractive for smart people who are quality people to go into teaching? Because if you want to attract quality people in any other part of the economy, you raise the pay and then you attract better quality people. That's why everybody, the top of their class, everybody goes to Wall Street, right? Because that's where the money is, right? So they can attract the smartest people to come work for them but they don't do that with teaching. Isn't that weird? Teachers are supposed to be like, charity workers. So did they find out? What was so the result was the teachers are now paid less, have fewer benefits, and less experience than before Act 10 was passed. So the teachers have less experience, they have fewer benefits, and they're paid less. So if you pay people less and you give them fewer benefits, what happens? Quality people go elsewhere. So Wisconsin is, again, all the worst wounds in America are self-inflicted. So here's the people of Wisconsin electing a right-wing government that immediately attacks their educational system. So now they have shittier education in Wisconsin. They did it to themselves. The people went out and voted for this. Wisconsin teachers saw a median compensation decrease of 8.2% in just the 2011-22 school year. This according to the Capital Times. The average teacher salary decreased by over $1,200 between 2010 and 2011 and 2011 and 2012 school years, while retirement and health care benefits dropped nearly $6,000. That's who they're balancing the budget on in Wisconsin. They're taking it from the teachers, not to the people who all the gains of the recovery has gone to, which is the upper 1%. Remember, corporations are sitting on record profits. Wall Street's at record highs. Lots of people have tons of dough from this economy. And remember who bailed out Wall Street? It was you. Your tax money bailed out Wall Street, did not bail you out. Now those people are making all the money. And who are we going to squeeze money from? Teachers.
Yeah, and all this nickel and diming in education, like it's such a drop in the bucket compared to what we need, but it's hurting the people. It's hurting the teachers. That's a lot of money to a teacher. Just like what they're doing to graduate students. That's a lot to do to a grad student who's living on a stipend that's literally meant to be a living stipend. So they're living paycheck to paycheck trying to get their degree, and now they're going to be taxed on their tuition. Yeah. You know, this is not helping our deficit at the federal level. This is class warfare.
This is class warfare.
Yeah, and this
by
is
the rich, by the millionaires and billionaires on everyone else.
Yeah, and it's making education solely for the elite, which is fascism 101.
It's as if they want us to be dumb and have no access. Because if you're informed, you're educated, you're going to want a revolution. Yeah. And if you're poor, you don't have access. This is awful. This is disturbing. As a teacher, I know that I got paid a 10-month contract. 2 months I wasn't paid. So you have to figure that out and find your balance for those 2 months. You know, you either work summer school and you're working with kids that are, you typically they haven't been that successful, and so it's a longer day for them, and that's hard. But when you see that this kind of inequality is happening for educators, let's not pretend for 1 second America cares about kids. Let's not pretend for 1 second you care about education or you care about our military. This is the fastest way to destroy the middle class, and it's through education. And look what they're doing.
Yeah, well, and this has ancient times written all over it. The times where it was illegal to teach people to think critically. It was legal to make sure they can be of service somehow, but it was illegal to make them think critically or anything like that. And that's how the elite are going after education now in a way that is unheard of. I never would have imagined something like this would happen. I never would imagine something like, oh, you're gonna tax someone's tuition remission.
That's amazing.
Where I'm gonna be, man, glad I went to grad school and I did. I couldn't go now. I mean, it's insane.
Well, the Center for American Progress's analysis showed that in the 2015-2016 school year, Wisconsin teachers' median combined salaries and benefits were almost $11,000 less than they were before Act 10 passed. So you're taking almost $11,000 in compensation away from your average teacher in Wisconsin. And why do you think that is? What do you think the results of lowering pay is? Well, the report said lower salaries were driven in part by the decrease in experience levels among teachers in Wisconsin. Why is that? Because as soon as they screwed over the teachers in Wisconsin, the people who were close to retirement quit, and the people who wanted to have a career in teaching went to other states. Well, the year immediately following Act 10's passage saw a spike in teachers over 55 who retired. Right when they figured out teaching, after they've had about 20 years in the classroom and they figured out they've been confronted with almost every problem, and they figured out how to get their lesson plans over and into kids' heads. They figured out the best way to do all that stuff. Now they're leaving. As soon as they get good at what they're doing, as soon as they become an expert teacher, they leave because you're effing them over. So
can I just add this? Okay, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the disparity in the loss of wealth and the loss of retirement income. And I just thought, well, how many of these people are women?
Right.
As educators. According to Women in Power in Wisconsin, it says 80% of teachers nationally and in Wisconsin were female, and 90% at the elementary level were women. So if you don't think this is also an attack on women and their ability to care for their family. So when women do well, your country will do well.
Right.
You'll become well-doers.
So before they took the union away from teachers, 15% of teachers over 55 would retire. After they took the union away, 35% of teachers over 55 retired. So you're getting rid of your most qualified, most experienced, best teachers. The report also highlighted the falling numbers of students enrolling in teacher preparation programs both in Wisconsin and across the country. So we're making it less attractive for people to become teachers, especially the best and the brightest people from becoming teachers. What could that possibly? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could there possibly be a negative ramification of dismantling our education system? What could possibly go wrong? We should be doing the exact opposite. The Center for American Progress Studies cited a recent report from the Wisconsin Budget Project detailing the extreme applicant shortages many districts are facing. Extreme applicant shortages, meaning there aren't people signing up to be teachers in Wisconsin.
It's an all-time low.
Extreme shortage of teachers, particularly in math and science, and DPI's increased use of emergency licenses to fill vacancies.
Well, at least it's not in the important subjects, just math and science. No big deal.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess that an emergency license to fill vacancies means they take someone who isn't credentialed as a teacher and they go, "You're now a teacher."
Oh yeah, there's been reports they're using like just temp services
temp
and stuff like
workers.
that to get teachers. Like
That's
for
amazing.
teaching jobs. Like and it's not like just you're subbing in for a day or something. It's like actual like
So again, this is how our empire ends. We're doing it to ourselves. This is what happens when corporations run your government. This is it. This is the end game. This is what they dismantle education. They wreck the country. Again, remember, 63% of the country can't afford $1,000 emergency. This is what we're left with. So there's a revolution's going to happen. Brexit happened in England. It scared the shit out of everybody. And now, actually, the socialist is going to take over. It looks like Jeremy Corbyn, because they didn't rig their elections like we did here in the United States. They don't have the Electoral College in England. They don't have the Democratic National Committee screwing over the progressive like we had it here. So we actually had a remedy for our problem. It was called Bernie Sanders progressivism. And guess what? The corporation got in the way of that. That's not happening here. They weren't able to stop them in England. So things are worse than you think. This is a direct result of the Democrats getting in bed with Wall Street, military-industrial complex, big pharma, and fossil fuel companies. This is the exact result of the Democrats turning their back on workers. This is the result. This is the world we live in now, where we have the government working against you right out in the open. And the corporate media doesn't report it. How is this not the headline story on every newscast? Hey, by the way, our government's fucking over our workers. They're dismantling our education. How is that not the top story? But I'm sure Rachel Maddow's going to do about 45 minutes on Russia. Guess what? Teachers in Wisconsin are down $10,000 a year in pay, not because of Russia, but because of the corporations that pay Rachel Maddow.
But what if we told them that Russia bots hacked into the systems and that's why their pay's down? Maybe then they would at least talk about it.
Maybe we could. Maybe we should tell people that Russia hacked into Wisconsin's unions and now the teachers are making $11,000 less a year. Maybe they will talk about it on MSNBC then. Maybe Chris Hayes will talk about it then.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So we will talk about it on this show. We actually have a woman of color who's a teacher, a union leader, on this show.
That's me.
Where do they have union leaders on? What television news shows do they have union leaders on? Which ones? I don't know. They brought on Randy Weingarten. She was the teachers union leader. They brought her on when she was going to prop up Hillary Clinton. That's when they brought her on. They didn't bring on union leaders who propped up Bernie Sanders. So we'll tell you the truth about it. So that's why I ask you, and I thank you for your support of this show. And please remind you to subscribe and hit that bell next to it so you'll get a notice. A lot of people are telling us that YouTube is unsubscribing them from our channel. We get emails every day. They don't get notifications of our videos when they drop. So they're suppressing independent news. So please make sure you click subscribe, click the bell. And if you can become a Patreon or come see our live shows anywhere else, or get a video, or get a t-shirt or a mug. There's many ways you can help support the show, and thanks for your support. We'll see you December 4th in Burbank, California.